Hi everybody, my name is Eugene Macruz, and today I'm going to talk about the topic of building an internet footprint that lasts. Building an internet footprint that lasts. So basically, when we talk about this topic, it's all about SEO and how it has evolved over the years. Before we can even talk about SEO, we need to look back and look at the search engine wars. Okay, Google, as you know, is not the first search engine. Yahoo was. And Yahoo was the first search engine, and Yahoo is directory based, which means that when you browse the web, you look for a particular category and then you look for the website, correct? So Yahoo was very directory based driven. And when Google came into the picture, guess what? The front page in Google was just a search box. And that was quite interesting because it actually defined the way people search. So Google presented to the world as a search box. You need anything, you search anything, which makes sense to us. We need anything, we will ask a question. So you ask a question in the search box gives you an answer. So when Google came in there, it differentiated itself. Instead of being a directory-driven website, it is now a search-driven website. So, how does Google came into the market? Google invented Gmail, a free email, but they make it secretive, mystery. They make it in such a way that it's only invite only. Only people who have Gmail can invite another person. So there's a lot of mystery crowding around it, making people want Google instantly. And that's why Google, because of their Gmail, the adoption rate grew very fast. And that is only one thing that Google did to kind of conquer the market at that time. The next thing that Google needs to do is it needs to be different in the game, right? In order to be different in the game, Google has to look at every website in the world, meaning to say that this website, is it topical for the topic that people search for? It includes, at that point in time, the more websites that has linked to this website is seen as an authority site for that particular topic. And over time, actually Google look at relevancy as well. So instead of being contextual and textual, as in topical, it also looked at relevancy because it is always in a constant race with Yahoo. So over time, Google looked at less emphasis with backlinks. They look at quality backlinks, which means to say that Google also look in terms of relevancy, in terms of content relevancy. They look around your site, what's your primary keyword, how is it ranked. They look at whether your pages are related to the site, right? So now, in the race of relevancy, Google also bought a couple of technologies. And one of the interesting technology that Google bought in 2006 is YouTube.com. And today, which is the top search engine in the world? Fast forward 2019. The top search engine in the world is Google.com, which is the second search engine in the world, YouTube.com. So if you are not on YouTube, which a lot of SMEs are not on YouTube because they find that doing videos is tedious, then you are missing a bit of the pie and you're leaving money on the table for people to take, correct? Right, so now we have sort of covered the search engine wars. So now we look at how do you structure your site for relevancy. For example, if you look at a person, if a guy likes a girl, you know, what are the attributes or what are the features that he liked her? Maybe he liked her laughter, maybe he liked her character, her gentleness, you know, he liked her dressing, right? So when we look at people, what do we see? There are certain attributes that make us be able to connect with each other better, correct? So now, similarly, Google has two aims. Firstly, when you look at your site, it has to look whether your site is contextual or textual, as in whether it's topical. Secondly, it has to look at relevancy. And it no longer look at, you know, if your site has more backlinks, it will rank better. It will look at quality backlinks, right? So don't go crazy, you know, when you outsource to some Indian SEO companies. This is what you get. You will not get quality backlinks. You will get links from pornographic sites as well, and that will really hurt your website. So when we look at contextual or topical relevance, what does it take for a website to be contextual and topical? So we look at, firstly, the on-page SEO. On-page SEO, we look at content optimization and image optimization, which means that content optimization, you look at, when Google look at your site, which is the primary keyword that you're trying to rank for, and then when you look at the particular page, what is the page keyword, or rather what is the article keyword that you're trying to rank for, and then Google will kind of scan the article and try to pick associated keywords that are in the article, and then Google will do a map and says that, okay, your website is very relevant, okay, in this area, your website is relevant in your primary keywords, in your page keyword, in your page has the associated keywords, you have the relevant category being defined, and Google also looks at how well organized your information is and how easy it is to find, right? And then Google also look at, you know, whether the page has images as well. And in the images, they actually look for certain attributes that are able to rank. For example, one of the key factors is that whether your image name has the keyword inside, right? So as we are talking about, Google look at contextual or topical. So these are the things. They look at on-page SEO, which is your content optimization, we have talked about, and image optimization, which we have talked about. The next thing we look at is Google look at video optimization. This is particularly in YouTube. So for example, if you are a property agent and you come and approach me and say that, you know, I want to be ranked for Property Singapore. There's no way that I can help you rank for Property Singapore. But basically, I need to ask you, what are you specializing? If you are specializing in bungalows in a certain area, then we'll rank for that certain area, and then we move down the line. Your business is selling solutions to different specific industry, or we call it verticals, then you will want to work for one website for that particular vertical, get it to rank, get inquiries coming in, get inquiries being converted before you move into the next vertical. So for example, in a shopping site, when Google comes in, imagine Google walking into a department store, right? And what do Google see? And when you walk into a department store, you see that the department store is organized basically according to the different section, children's section, women's section, and stuff like that. And when you walk into a specific women's section, you will look at dresses, you look at blouse, you look at scarf, you look at sunglasses, you look at shoes. So it's further subcategorized. So that is what Google wants. When Google comes to your site, they want to see this kind of categorization. How to structure your site for relevancy, besides being good at receiving contextual and textual content, Google has also got to be relevant. So we come to this very interesting topic. Do backlinks matter, right? Do backlinks matter, as what was said before. previously, when in the early days of Google, as long as you have as many backlinks as possible, Google take your site as authority. And then over time, Google realized that, there are a lot of trash site that being ranked on page 1. And that's not the way, because the moment Google lose relevancy, that is the moment when Yahoo takes over. So Google has to do something, and that's why Google's algorithm is always changing. Okay, so as previously, as you have many backlinks as possible, it used to work, but not anymore, because Google has to be relevant. The black hats are the people that always cheat the system. They try to get as many backlinks as possible in the shortest period of time. And at that point in time, their sites were ranking. And then Google realized that they had garbage content. They had garbage on-page SEO as well. They had garbage off-page SEO, which is having a lot of links. And in a nutshell, when the user searches for these particular keywords, their site was number 1, but it's not relevant to what the Google user wants. So Google had to do something. So over time, they had a lot of algorithm, penguin and all the animals came in, right? You can actually read about that. But basically, the main objective of Google doing all this is to get back into the relevancy game and to try to push the black hats and say, no, that's not the way to cheat the system. One of the ways in which backlinks Google look at is the frequency of backlinks in which your website has. That means how fast does your website get the backlinks. If in a period of 2 weeks you are getting 1,000 backlinks, that is certainly a red flag to Google, right? It used to work, but it's no longer working. There are people that are still trying to cheat the system. Forget it, okay? I have ranked websites based on only 3 or 4 backlinks. And as Google algorithm change, and Google discover that you are the guy that, trying to cheat backlinks, Google will put a Google filter on you so that you no longer rank on page 1. Page 1, number 2, sometimes you go page 1, number 5. That's called Google Dance. It's perfectly normal. It's a way in which Google adjusts its algorithm to make it more relevant to people. So previously, before the advent of social media, it is very easy to rank websites. All you need to do is just link to the prominent directories, and there, your website will rank after some time. With the advent of social media, in the early days, there was a debate in Google, right? And Matt Cutts talked about it on whether social signals should be considered as a ranking factor. And over time, Google has decided that, social signals is not something to be discounted, and Google has given social signals an important ranking factor. But also, having said that, is also the backlinks rules apply. That means you don't go crazy posting on social media and expecting that your website will rank. That might result in a Google penalty or Google filter as well. So how does it look when Google look at your website? They will look at how well you are structured. We talk about that, about contextual and textual, whether your website has a primary keyword around it, what is the theme around it. For each page, does each page have a primary keyword per page, and does the page have associated keywords to the primary keywords to kind of tell Google that these guys are related or these keywords are related. So overall, when Google look at it, Google also look at whether your website is easy to index, whether they are able to find all your pages, right? So after Google look at this, Google will also look at what are the social signals that are connected to your website. So this is, in a nutshell, what SEO is. We look at what is next. So what is next is things like, for example, when Facebook and WhatsApp integration. Today, when you run a Facebook ad, it can be integrated to WhatsApp. We also look at the trend right now is, which is the go live technology. So go live technology, we look at Facebook Live, Insta Story. These are the things, you know, where your followers will be instantly informed when you go live. For this go live technology, there are also technologies that enable you to do dual streaming. For example, dual streaming means that you can actually stream to YouTube as well as Facebook at the same time, so that you can double or even triple your audience, right? And we also look at things like webinar, right? So things have actually come a long way. Last time, businesses do not need a website. They only have brochures, and they distribute flyers and brochures. And then after that, there came a time where they needed website, right? They needed website. And then after that, you know, in the advent of social media, people are going on board the bandwagon. Today, there are tools that enable you to find out how well your competitor is doing against you. You can easily spy how strong are they in social media, what are they doing, and things like that. So today you can actually find out how well your competitor is doing. So I hope that this short video on SEO has been useful to you. Do not go crazy chasing technology, but the thing is to use technology to your advantage, and every time realize that your audience is out there in the social media. It's just that you don't go crazy, doing Facebook Live all the time, or you don't go crazy doing Insta Story all the time, and things like that. The thing is, you need to build on your website first. Okay, get your website in order. Make sure that when Google comes into your website, like when Google steps into a department store, they will be able to know what are the different departments. Google will be able to know. The Google bot do not get confused. That's the most important. So I will end this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope that this has been useful. My name is Eugene Macarius, signing off until the next. Thank you and take care. Goodbye.